everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Beastars Season 2 discussion videos. Today we're here to talk all about Episode 8, but before we get into the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AndyTube know that you're here. And with all that said, let's go ahead and just jump right into this week's episode. We got a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, honestly. I think I would like to focus in on Juno. Juno this week, I think, is the most intriguing, I guess I'll say. Like, Juno, it seemed like, had the most interesting plot line, I would say. And as this season has been going on, I feel like the more episodes pass, the more sort of jam-packed with content they become, in a good way. Like, it feels like all the characters are starting to hit this point where they're all doing something, outside of, like, Haru. Haru is the only one that I can think of that doesn't get a lot to do, but is in a way, I suppose, the sort of driving force behind people in the show changing, right? Especially for Louis and Legoshi, but also for Juno, seemingly. Maybe not like the driving force, but certainly an element that sort of pushes Juno along. And I really liked seeing these two interact because we don't really see Juno and Haru interact. The last time they did, it didn't go very well. So it was nice to have Haru just be like, hey, you're that wolf girl who's like close with Legoshi. How's it going? I know your name. It's, And Juno's like, Juno. She's like, Juno des. And she's like, yeah, Juno-chan, hello. And I'm like, oh, this is weirdly sweet. And I think that Juno might realize why Legoshi's kind of into Haru. Not just, like, looks-wise, because, like, yeah, sure, you know, Haru's cute. Don't take that as a JoJo confirmed furry thing, okay? I'm just saying she's cute, right? But, like, you know, she is. So, like, I'm, like, and they even say in the narrative that she's cute, okay? I'm just quoting them. Stop it. But, yeah, Haru is cute. They also say Juno's cute, but she notices that Haru is very cute, but she also realizes that that's not why Legoshi seems like he can't get away from her. It's this sort of infectiousness about her personality. There's something about how small yet commanding she is that sort of draws you in. And Juno notices this. And during the episode, we notice that Juno is hesitant, shall we say, on the idea of becoming the new lead for the drama club, because with that is this sort of charge of don't separate herbivores from carnivores. And while she does try her best on the outside to tell other characters like Sheila that, you know, we shouldn't be separated, we should be together, Juno doesn't actually seem to feel that way. Juno very much is like, no, like, we should be separated. Like, this is weird. Like, we shouldn't all be in the same club. Like, why, blah, 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 blah. Like, basically just saying, like, we are different, right? The two groups are different. Herbivores and carnivores are different. And I'm like, yes, but also no, right? But, like, yes, they are different, but no, that doesn't mean you guys can't live together, right? I assume by this point, because of the way that their society is, you have foods that you can eat as carnivores that you don't necessarily have to worry are going to actually have you eating another eating another creature. Caught myself. But Juno just seems to sort of have these conflicted feelings, right? Like, and I think that's what makes Juno an interesting character, right? Like, in season 1, I hated Juno. Well, I didn't hate Juno. I didn't, like, hate Juno in the same way I hate characters like, say, like, Gabby, or, like, Rachel, or Mami, or Akito, right? These characters who it's like, they are written in such a way to make you hate them. Juno wasn't necessarily written in a way to make you hate her. It's more like just she was in the way of my ship, you know? But even then, I didn't hate Juno. I always thought Juno made a lot of sense as a character, and her general vibe in the show as well, this sort of, especially this week's episode, this sort of conflicted, what is my emotion? You know, like, that's an actor thing. Like, what is my emotion in this scene? What am I supposed to be feeling? And it seems like Juno was grappling with this, but, like, in real life, trying to grapple with the idea that she's sort of being thrust into a position she didn't want to be in, how she doesn't even totally believe in the things that she's currently fighting for. And she's not sure what's going on with Legoshi. She's not sure what's going on with herself. She's not sure what's going on with Louis. She just doesn't know. She's at this crossroads. And I found her interactions this week really, really engaging and entertaining. And it's funny that she tells Sheila to, just be friends with them. If all we have to do is take pictures with herbivores, then I guess like us carnivores should just go ahead and do that. And it leads to this really sweet little scene. And I wonder how people are going to react to this, because I really loved this scene. And I was like, at first I was like, why are we focusing on these two? Why are we focusing on Peach and Sheila, two characters who we barely know anything about? But the whole shopping trip with them, and it goes on for like a while, the whole scene is so cute, right? It is so sweet. And it's just funny to pair that with Juno's story of like, I don't even know how to feel, yet she's telling other people to get along with each other. And it never really comes across as like she's lying. I guess it kind of does, right? Like it kind of feels like Juno's lying when she tells people that. But I do feel like Juno knows in her heart that that's what is right. But she's grappling with that carnivore edge, right? And we sort of see that with Sheila and Peach, right? Sheila is like not really having Peach's nonsense about taking pictures all the time. Like she doesn't quite get it. Like she doesn't feel photogenic. And then instead of telling her like, stop taking pictures of me, right? Like stop taking pictures with me, it drives me crazy. Instead she like goes like, will you go shopping with me? And Peach is like, yeah, okay. Sheila's like, oh, that's not what I meant to say, but that's what came out. So they go shopping. And it's really sweet. And you guys know me, like, listen, if two characters even blink at each other, if they like glance, okay, this is how shipping works. Welcome to Shipping 101. For me to ship it, all it takes, and even here, not really just this, but like, or not even this in general, right? But if two characters even glance in each other's direction, that's enough. That's a ship right there. It might be a bad ship. It might be like an F-tier ship, like big who cares. Their personalities don't match. Aesthetically, they don't match. Like, it could be a whole bunch of things. But two characters glance at each other, it's probably a ship, right? Not always. Obviously, I'm being hyperbolic. But, you know, it'd be like that when it'd be like that. But with Sheila and Peach, I genuinely was like, this is very sweet. Like, I actually really like these two. And just the fact that they have this like really sweet dynamic where Sheila mentions like Sheila gets hit on for looking fine, and Peach is like, oh, you know, like they said you look like a supermodel, and she's like, nah, it's just, you know, like I'm a leopard, so like it is that way. And besides, it's not like I can model anything, model everything anyway. Like I don't look good in patterns, right? And you know, Peach is like, what do you mean? And then you realize, like, oh yeah, she's a leopard. She's already patterned, right? And then when it goes winter shopping with Peach, they're looking at scarves, and Peach is like, oh, I can't wear that because it'll cause static electricity because of my wool. And it's like they're learning about each other. Sheila even says, like, I guess we both have problems, huh? Like, and they kind of laugh, and they have a sweet little moment. And then Sheila says, like, hey, why don't we take a picture? Right, so it goes full circle. Like Peach was the one taking pictures all the time, and Sheila was just kind of putting up with it. But as they spent time together, a herbivore and a carnivore, they truly came to understand each other, and now they're friends, right? I would argue that they're more than friends because I'm like Captain Shippy. But yeah, this whole scene was not only sweet, but a perfect contrast to everything that's going on with Juno. And I had to zero in on it because I just thought it was so well done. And if we pair that up with Legoshi and Louis, they're also on like a totally different, like they're in a totally different place. They're doing totally different things. They're so far removed from Cherryton at this point, and yet their stories are all still connected, right? Juno's conflict between can herbivores and carnivores truly live in harmony here? As that's happening, you have two characters, one a carnivore, one a herbivore, basically swapping sides. Louis is sinking further and further into a sort of carnivore-esque position. He's allowed himself to become the boss of this group of lions, the Lion Mafia, and we see him sort of sink further and further down. He watches a dude go through something so traumatic I can't even begin to explain. Absolutely terrifying. But he like Ibuki, who I friggin' love, by the way. Ibuki like puts his eyes or his hands over Louis' eyes, and Louis like, dude, I've come this far. I can kind of take anything. Like, it's a little late for you to start playing father now. And Ibuki's like, oh, I mean, I guess. But Ibuki also seems to have a similar past to Louis, right? Like he's seemingly been through some trauma himself. I didn't quite understand what was up with the mark on his arm. So comment section, if you could explain, that'd be appreciated. But he also seems to have been through a lot of traumatic stuff. When Louis says, like, what, did you think I was going to jump? Ibuki just kind of shrugs and walks over and stands next to him. And I, just based off the ED, I think the Ibuki and Louis dynamic is going to kill me, right? Like, it's going to break my heart just based off the ED. The ED is too pretty and too sweet for these two characters, so I have a feeling this dynamic is going to hurt me one day. And it's funny too because they really do blend well. I think these two bounce off each other really, really well. But I am curious in how much further Louis will sink into his carnivore nature. Not even his carnivore nature, this nature he's developing and creating for himself. We know that carnivores' jaw strength increases the more they sort of slip into bloodlust. So it almost makes me wonder, like, are we going to see Louis suddenly develop jaw strength? You know what I mean? Because he's been eating meat. He's becoming this, like, hardened carnivore type badass. Like, is his jaw going to start to strengthen? It'd be kind of interesting. And then on the total opposite spectrum, you have Legoshi, who Goheen literally throws off a building at one point, and he gets tossed in a muzzle, and then told to bring in this hyena who has clearly developed a sort of bloodlust. He's going a little crazy, and he's going to attack somebody. So Goheen says, like, we have to bring him to the hospital, to my hospital, the Goheen Hospital of Pain. So he has to go to the hospital, and he has to be rehabilitated, or he's going to kill somebody. And so Legoshi's suddenly faced with this situation where he's going up against a carnivore whose jaw strength is insane. Because, again, your jaw strength is strengthened depending on how much bloodlust you have. Well, maybe not specifically that, but the more you sort of sink into your carnivore side, the more strength goes to your jaw. So Legoshi, being in this position, suddenly remembers he has sort of like a Deku from My Hero moment where he's like, wait, I can use my arms. Like in My Hero when Deku's like, wait, I have legs, right? Like, it's one of those situations where I'm like, yeah, Legoshi, you've had arms this whole time, dog. You even have claws attached to those arms. But it's this cool moment where this hyena, like, bites into Legoshi's arm, and for a second, Goheen's like, oh shit, right? But it's super tough. Like, Legoshi's hide has almost strengthened to replace his jaw strength, you know? Like, it's balancing out. And Legoshi straight up just takes this man's face and just plants him right into the side of a brick wall. And he has this beautiful moment where he's like, by the way, I'm not a dog, I'm a wolf. And it ends, and I'm like, hell yeah. Like, it was just cool to see Legoshi be like, I am still a wolf, but my strength is now in my arms. My strength is in my resolve to not give in to eating herbivores, to protect them, you know, like, to be their dark knight. It's awesome. So the whole episode, I thought, was just jam-packed with content, right? Like, so much to talk about. I barely scratched the surface, but, you know, I tried. But with that said, everybody, that is going to wrap up today's video here, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AniTube know that you're here. And, of course, before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are two ways to do so. The first is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button. That gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course your name scrolling past the screen here. Or you could check out that Patreon link in the description. Either way, it is super, super appreciated. So once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. We are still in the injured boy arc. That's why this video had basically no edits. Sorry about that. I mean, well, less edits than usual. My videos very rarely have edits, but yeah, still injured, working on it. Anyway, bye!